So I picked up this 1985 square body and couldn't help but notice, well, there's no rear view mirror. Fortunately though, I found it under the seat in a pile of trash, so we're gonna go ahead and put it back on today. And this is what you're gonna need. You're gonna need your rear view mirror, and make sure you have this piece right here. Now this one, they installed it upside down it looks like, but we'll make sure we install it the correct way. You're gonna need some rear view mirror adhesive. This is made by Permatex. This is just the adhesive. They also sell a kit. Now the kit costs about twice as much as what the, well, a little bit more than twice as much. And it comes with some tape, a razor blade, and probably a little piece of sandpaper, and that's what comes in the kit. So if you have this stuff kicking around, you don't really need to buy the kit. You can just buy the adhesive. Now this little piece on the rear view mirror is held on with a Allen screw right here. So you're going to need a set of Allen wrenches. You're also going to need some decent glass cleaner. We want to make sure the glass is clean. Additionally, there's an alcohol pad in here we'll be using. But first we need to make sure that the glass is clean and on both sides. And I'm also going to need this tape measure, and I'll show you why in a minute. I know this may seem odd. The rear view mirror is on the inside of the truck and I'm cleaning the outside. I promise it's going to make sense in a minute. So we clean this for two reasons. One is we're also going to clean the inside, and with the outside clean, it makes it a whole lot easier to know whether or not the inside is clean. Second, we need to put a piece of tape on it. If we're going to put a piece of tape on it, we should clean it. Otherwise, it just may not stick very well, depending on how much dirt you've got on your windshield. So now, to figure out where our piece of tape goes, what you want to do is look through the glass and find the old glue from where your rear view mirror fell off. You'll see the old glue. And so you're just going to take a 1-inch piece of tape, like so, and stick it over where the old glue is at. Now unfortunately, I don't have any old glue on this windshield, so I don't know where it goes. But what I do have is I've got an old square body right over there that we're going to take measurements off of. But do you really need to have another square body kicking around to get the measurements? No, you can do it like this as well. So it looks like we're about 56, so we're going to divide that by 2, which brings us to 28. So then we're just going to take our piece of tape and put it right at 28. Now that should be our center line. Let me just come back here and look and see if it looks like it's centered. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. We can kind of test that theory, right? Center of that, 28, right about there. Although really we can go, all right, I think we need to come over about there. So basically measure the width, split the difference. Now that we've got our center line, we just need to figure out where we want to put our piece of tape on the windshield. And for that, I am just going to go over there and measure the other one and give you the measurement. You could also eyeball it by getting inside the truck, putting the mirror up, and just determining where you like the mirror to be. I'm going to go ahead and put it at factory or whatever the last person did on that other truck. We can easily see where this mirror is glued to the windshield, and the center of that is about 4 inches down from the top of the windshield. Okay, so piece of tape on center, 4 inches. There we go, center of our tape is 4 inches. On the inside, that's where we're putting the glue. Okay, let's get our mount off of here. Just gonna loosen up that Allen set screw. They may have glued this thing in here, seeing as they put it on backwards. Yeah, I think they did. Alright, I think this is like a rock chipping hammer or something, but it'll probably work. Clean all this junk out of here. Alright, so now we can use a razor blade, be very, 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 very careful, and scrape off any of the old glue that's on here, and old bee's nest, or whatever that is. And this is where the sandpaper comes in. we're just going to hit this with a little bit of sandpaper to make sure we got the glue off. I'm going to go ahead and clean the edges of this thing too, just because it's got all this crap on it. Alright, now if you remember, this one was like this. That is not how it goes. It goes like this. So when we glue this on, we're gluing it like that. Now we're going to clean the inside. If you want this to last, you got to make sure it's nice and clean. Okay, so it's at this point that you would take a razor blade and get all the old glue off by scraping it here with the razor. Keeping in mind your piece of tape on the outside should be right over all of the old glue. So go ahead and scrape the old glue off and then clean it again. Just make sure it's clean, no grease or anything from your fingers. And now we're ready to move on to the next part. Well, once that's kind of dried. Okay, so we have two items in here. The cleaner activator and the glue. We're going to set the glue aside and we're going to open up the cleaner activator. And you just open this like so. And you do not need to take this out of here at all. Just leave it in here and kind of hold it like this. And wipe it on the windshield right in our place. And then do the same on this. Remember, this round side is going to end up going up, and this is the side we want to put the glue and the activator on. So we're just going to kind of wipe it there like that. And then I'm going to set it down and we're going to wait a minute. Okay, now it's been a minute and I've already got a timer rolling, and what we're going to do is we're going to put the glue on here. We're going to hold it up to the window and we're going to hold that on there for a minute. I'm just going to tear the top of this off a little bit. You only need a couple drops. You don't want to squeeze all this onto here. I mean, you want to put it right on the center. Now whatever you do, don't touch that, but hopefully you can see that dot's right on the center. What we're going to do is we're going to put it right up here. And then we're just going to hold it for a minute. So I'm going to look at my timer. Of course, my phone already fell asleep, so now I'm going to switch. There we go. Alright. Be back in a minute. Okay, it's been a minute. So I've reset my timer to 30 minutes because we need to wait 30 minutes now before we can put the mirror on here. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and skip forward in time for you, but while I'm actually waiting 30 minutes, I'm going to put all the tools away, get the tape off here, and alright, that's that. And there's our final product. The glue is dry. Now what we need to do is take this and we're on. Now what we're going to do is tighten that set screw and we're good as gold. Links in the description to both Permatex kits, the one that just has the adhesive and then the one that comes with the razor blade and a little piece of sandpaper. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you down the road. Yeah, that's going to work just fine, even though that's a cracked rearview mirror. Isn't that a Hootie and the Blowfish album?